Hey, everybody, it's Reagan with Lawyer Interviews. And today we have Dean, who is an attorney out of Los Angeles. Hi, Dean.
Hello.
Hi. Well, okay, Dean, you're not only an attorney out of Los Angeles, you run probably the most celebrated, and you are a self-proclaimed funniest attorney on Instagram with your amazing page. So, Attorney Problems, you say you are a memer, nerd, and attorney, and self-proclaimed funniest person.
Absolutely. And definitely in those order. Definitely in that order.
So first memer, then nerd, then attorney.
Probably first nerd if we're going to be real.
First, okay, so what kind of nerd are we talking? Like Star Trek, Harry Potter? Like what's your range here?
You hit the nail on the coffin. When my parents came from Iran and they were very conservative moving here. And so the cultural differences were pretty significant.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a kid, I had two things I could bond with my parents on. I bonded with sci-fi with my mom, and I bonded with basketball with my dad. And my mom was a big Star Trek junkie, so I'm a Star Trek junkie. Next Generation, obviously, Captain Picard is way better than Captain Kirk, and I will go to the grave with that. So yes, a very old school sci-fi fan.
Very cool. I mean, okay, so do you go to like the what is it called? The Comic-Con and that kind of stuff? Have you ever been to those?
I've been to the Fall Comic-Con in LA. I have not done the San Diego Comic-Con yet.
Okay.
So it's still on my bucket list.
Yeah, seems really cool. Seems really cool. Well, thank you for joining us. Again, you have like one of the funniest meme pages out there for lawyer. I mean, I'm always sharing your posts because I think that they're just so relatable as an attorney. And I love them. I mean, I'd love to talk. How did you get started like with attorney problems?
It's pretty interesting. So I was practicing on my own for a little bit because my first two forays into the legal field kind of crash and burn in spectacular fashion. It's a long story, but my first boss was a very typical big law firm type of boss with a lot of issues and lawyer issues to put it mildly. And then my second boss kind of injected that with steroids. So then I decided to practice on my own for a while. But being a second year attorney with very little experience and very little connections and trying to do your own kind of business, usually is not a recipe for success. And I somehow met Nima through kind of a 6 degrees of separation situation. I joined the firm here. I work for West Coast Trial Lawyers. I've been running the litigation department now for about 7 or 8 years. And within the first couple of months, I just made a meme on my personal meme account, and a lot of people liked it. And I showed it to Nima, who's the president here, and he loved it. And he was like, "You should make a meme account." And I was like, why not? That was around the time when Fuck Jerry, and I forgot, it's like the Fat Jewish was blowing up, and there wasn't really a kind of niche meme page for attorneys. So I just started making it and kind of rolled with it from then.
Very cool. So how fast, I mean, was it a fast growth or was it kind of like steadily and then just boom one night? I mean, like what was the growth there for you?
It was brutal in the beginning. I mean, I was just like, scrapping and begging for followers in the beginning. I remember the first 10,000 was probably the hardest. A lot of my friends, and it was interesting when I first started it because a lot of my friends were like, "Why are you doing this? This is so stupid. Like, who do you think you are?" And a lot of those same friends are the ones that like share my memes now and come and talk to me about attorney problems. No, the beginning was difficult. It's very difficult to build a following in the beginning, and then it kind of snowballed, I guess. After that, after 10,000, 20,000, then it started snowballing. It might have plateaued a little bit. I've always tried to figure out, like, do some kind of like analytical calculations. I'm a business major. I did a lot of math and accounting in college, and that's what I did before I went to law school. So I always try to figure out like how many attorneys are there in the universe that also go to that also have Instagram accounts, are regular users, and obviously they're all very wild guesses, but
right.
But that's kind of snowballed, and now it's like it slowed down a little bit. So I don't know if I've maximized all
reached every one of them
out there, or just my content sucks now. I'm not sure.
No, it's still fire. Look, I share it all the time. I love it. And I love also reading the comments. So if people are not following you, they should, whether they're an attorney or not, because sometimes the comment section from other attorneys discussing
Yeah.
the memes is just is gold. I love
Lawyers, yeah, lawyers are very opinionated. And trust me, if you think the comment sections are fire sometimes, you should see some of the DMs I get because of some of the memes
okay.
I post.
Let's talk. Okay, you got to give us like a good one. Like, what was like, what the FDM you got from your meme page? I've got to know.
I can't point, specifically I can point to like some of the meme I posted yesterday, which was a meme about like, I posted a COVID meme about people like fake pretending to be on COVID, and I called it work from COVID. And suffice to say, some people were not too pleased with that.
Yeah.
And there's actually a very long comment chain going down on that particular meme, which is a fun read. But yeah, lawyers are very opinionated. They're very outspoken. It's just who we are. That's obviously why we came into the business that we are. So it goes with the territory that I'm gonna get a piece of people's minds if I do something that is borderline controversial. I don't even think I'm controversial anymore. I used to be somewhat controversial in my memes, but I was like, you know what, it's just not worth it. So I'm trying to make it a lot more PG than PG-13 at this point.
There you go. Less controversy, rated R in the other ways, or PG-13 in the other ways.
I don't even think I was ever rated R, but
No.
I used to have like a lot of political memes making fun of, both Republicans and Democrats and tying them into legal concepts. And so many people got mad. I would get unfollowed by like the hundreds. If I made fun of Trump, a lot of Republicans would unfollow me. If I made fun of Biden, a lot of Democrats would unfollow me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to do this because it upsets people so much. And I realized, look, we're lawyers and I'm very opinionated. I got very strong opinions about shit. So it took me a while to understand that about the community that I'm posting to. So I wouldn't say I was ever rated R, but I think I've definitely gone from PG-13 to PG. Hopefully
sure.
I don't go to G. Hopefully it stays at PG.
PG, yeah. I mean, look, yeah. I think it's great, and I love when lawyers will like talk about how relatable, or they'll talk about their own experiences too, because sometimes those memes like talk about just the job, but sometimes it's about like the awful parts of the job, and I think those get a ton of interactions. Have you noticed that, like the ones that are kind of like dragging on big law, or
the memes that tend to do the best are the ones that typically exemplify the miserable existence us lawyers have willingly chosen to undertake. So yeah, it's a common denominator for all of us, but it's also a community. It's like a way for people to like express themselves. So that's the part about it that I love. When I see those comments about people kind of sharing the stories, I get a lot of DMs like, "Oh my God, this is so me," or like I get a lot of DMs like, "Oh, are you like watching me? Do you have a camera in my office?" and things like
yes,
that. That makes me happy, and I absolutely do. Every one of you who thinks that I'm watching you, I definitely am.
Every one of them. Oh my gosh. So have you, I guess, been like running the account the whole time? Do you have a team that does it now? I mean, you're at hundreds of thousands of followers now. What's that like? Because you're also an attorney full time. So how's that?
I don't have a team, but I'm not, I do have to give credit. There's been a lot of people who've contributed and helped me, have been content creators, so to speak. It's not like the vast majority of the memes are made by me. But, like Nima, for instance, who's the president of the firm, sometimes give me ideas. One of my good friends, Vanessa, who's like a animal rights lawyer, sometimes will text message me. So it's not all me.
Mm-hmm.
And to the extent I can, I always try to give credit when it's due. But yeah, it's not really a team. I know other pages are kind of anonymous, and it's like 2 or 3 attorneys that are working on the memes, is at least to my understanding, because I think they're a little concerned about what would happen if their bosses find out that they run those pages and they're shitting on their bosses half the time. Yeah. And for the record, half the time I'm shitting on my boss, but he's very well aware of it. But yeah, the most of them are mine, but hey, if someone messages me or one of my friends texts me and gives me a good idea, you better believe I'm going to use it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and that's another really interesting aspect. You're absolutely right. And actually, before we started recording, I said, I hope I'm not going to out you. And you're like, no, I'm out there. I'm okay. Because a lot of the attorney like meme pages or sarcastic Instagram pages, they don't want to be revealed because some of them do shit on their on their bosses and stuff. So what's it like having, I mean, you kind of got like the shackles off, your speech is not chilled. Like, how does that feel? Like to have your boss be like, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I love it. It's, it is like a shackles off. I mean, the people I work with, the partners I work with are kind of like my older brothers. I mean, we ride or die together. We work hard together and we play hard together, and they're family to me. So it's very, very liberating and very satisfying that I've found this place and a home for myself. I'm pretty much married to this firm at this point. I'm not going anywhere. I'm probably going to be here until I die or win the lottery. So
Hey,
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and has it ever like come up with clients knowing that you run this? Has that ever become an issue?
No, but several of my clients do know I run the page.
Okay.
I tried a case with one of the other litigation attorneys about a month ago, less than a month ago, and it was his first trial, and I second chaired it with him because he wanted to try his first case, and the client had no idea, and it was a tough case, but he was a good witness, he was a good client. It wasn't a big case, but the insurance company didn't want to pay anything, and we beat the 9-8, and I went after the case. I was like, hey man, by the way, I got this page and you're about to get blasted on it. I'm about to post the verdict. And, he had no idea, but, he loved it. So
Awesome.
I don't think the vast majority of my clients realize that I don't go out of my way to advertise who I am. I posted about myself. Obviously I post, well, maybe not obviously, but I post about the firm a lot. I don't try to like post a lot about myself. But certain of my clients do. Some of my high profile clients have represented, certain celebrities that know, that I have the page, and, they've even reposted me. So some of my clients know, most of them I think have no clue. The interesting thing is a lot of the defense attorneys that I interact with and I've built relationships with who do know about the page and who've brought it up to me. And I always find that entertaining, and I love it because I think it helps. Frankly, I think it helps me build rapport with them and develop relationships with them because they know I'm just doing my job. They're just doing their job. And, we're both human beings at the end of the day. And it doesn't mean that we have to be at war with each other. We can, deal with the case respectfully and still, at the end of the day, still have a good relationship.
Absolutely. We're all on this sinking ship together. This career we all chose. That's so
exactly
so much time in life. Well, that's so another question for you. I mean, you're a full-time, litigator with insurance, and you're also dealing with a meme account full-time. I mean, do you have any time to do anything fun ever?
I think, being an attorney, I think one of the things you have to have is time management skills.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have time management skills, you're not going to be a successful attorney. So I think that's something that it's trained me to do. So yeah, I definitely at night when I'm in bed on my phone before I want to pass out, I'm like, looking at funny pictures, trying to come up with memes. I pinky swear I'm not doing this while I'm on the job, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I do have a life. Excuse me. I'd like to think, can you hear me?
Yes.
I like to think I have a life. I like to think I have a very good social life, but it's hard. Every attorney out there knows that the hours are pretty brutal. It's no exception for me, but also everybody else knows that if you like something and you care about something, you make time for it. So that's what I've learned to do is time management skills.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like anything else, if you've got to juggle anything, whether it's family work, school work, everything, there's a balance to it. Yeah. We hope. So, okay, I'd like to ask you, you are just so much fun, and I would love to ask you some just kind of fun questions. So if you're game, all right. So I would love to know, Dean, who you think the sexiest Supreme Court justice of all time is.
Oh, that one's easy. Probably RBJ.
RBG?
RBG. Yeah, RBG.
RBG. Oh, Ruth.
I'm
Ruth
sorry.
for sure. No, she's a snack for sure. All right. Do you have any funny?
Neil Gorsuch. Neil Gorsuch is a close second.
He is like a silver fox a little bit, like he's got that good white hair going. I don't know. I kind of agree with you there too. All right. Let's see. Do you have any funny litigation stories or anything that someone has submitted to you as like a story for your page that you thought was just hilarious?
I have a lot of funny litigation stories, probably.
All right, give us a good one.
and this is something where I was talking to one of the other attorneys at the firm the other day. I was like, I'm so tempted to post this because it's just so amazing. I think it would just shit on any meme that I've ever posted ever in my entire life.
Let's have it.
I deposed a gentleman, very nice guy, actually. He was a defendant in the case, car accident case, shocking. And, this man is a very nice guy, but he had a prior DUI, felony DUI, and he'd been to jail. And in this case, he had crashed into my client's car, while he was parked in his car and fled the scene.
Oh.
And so there was a question, given his background, given the fact that he didn't want to stay on the scene, why would you flee the scene?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole issue was he DUI, basically, because obviously law enforcement wasn't able to prove it because they weren't able to even get a hold of him for like 2-3 days after. There's no way to prove that the guy was DUI at that point.
Right.
And so, I do my questioning, and then the defense attorney that represents the company, not him, because there was a conflict, starts doing a follow-up. And this is probably the most hilarious follow-up I've ever seen. And to this day, I'm so tempted to post this interaction because he asked them, are you sober? He says, yes. How long have you been sober? Like, oh, I don't drink anymore. And you're just flat sober, right? He starts shrugging. He starts grimacing. He's like, I THC a couple days ago. And he's like, oh, okay. And then the defense attorney is kind of older, so he's not really hip to the language. The defense attorney goes, okay, well, that was for stress, right? And the guy goes, no, it was chronic. And then the defense attorney at that point is just, he just doesn't know what to say. And it was like a long pause, and the guy just repeats himself. He's like, listen, it was chronic, not chronic pain. I was smoking the chronic. And it was one of the most hilarious exchanges I've ever seen in my life. Thankfully, the insurance company decided to pay a lot of money after that deposition.
I'm sure. But you got to make sure that you're specific on there, not for chronic pain.
He made sure. Yeah, I was waiting for him to pull it out at that point and be like, "By the way, would you like to try it? It's not stress,
Yeah, right. I brought a sample for you guys.
I brought a sample in case you think it's stress.
That is.
I took a depo a couple months ago. Another car accident case, and this guy was chain smoking. Literally chain smoking and driving, because obviously everything's virtual these days.
Yeah.
This guy's on his phone, driving and chain smoking the whole time. And I don't say anything for like 20-30 minutes. I love it. I'm like, maybe I can put this in front of the jury if he says something stupid that I'm going to want to show the jury. And then after a while, I'm like, sir, do you think it's safe that you're doing this deposition while you're driving? And then, the attorney obviously didn't like that questioning very much, but that was hilarious to me that in a car accident case, a defendant would come while driving, give his deposition testimony.
That is very interesting. You're like, is technology advancing or declining our our advancement as a society?
Probably making us a little bit stupid overall, but that's just my humble opinion.
I think so. Lazier for sure. Or multitasking. I don't know. Maybe it's more talented. I don't know.
It's making us more efficient, I think, is what they like to say.
That's true. All right, Dean, one more question, and then we'll let you go. If you were to choose a fictional co-counsel to try a case with, any case, any co-counsel, they can be lead or co, whatever you want, who would you choose?
If I was going to choose an attorney to try a case with.
Fictional, yes. Like from the movie.
Fictional.
Yeah, or TV.
Oh, so it has to be a good attorney.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. You could choose like, what's his face? My cousin Vinny.
Breaking Bad was like one of my favorite shows of all time, and this is coming from a sci-fi nerd. So I gotta go with Saul Goodman, man. I just love that guy.
He was really like the whole like give me $1 thing. He's like, give me $1. I was like, genius. Get the retainer and then get the advice. I love that part.
You just reminded me about that. Now I just recall why I love him so much even more. So definitely Saul Goodman.
Exactly. I couldn't disagree at all. Well, thank you so much, Dean, for joining us today. And seriously, like everyone needs to go follow Attorney Problems. And we'll ask you to throw up your handle really fast. And also, we did ask you for a meme, and you did send it to me, and we're going to put it up on the screen. Can you kind of explain why this meme is a little special to you?
Sure. This meme, I love this meme so much. I don't know why, because first of all, We're the Millers is fucking hilarious. If you haven't seen We're the Millers, you should absolutely see it. It's fucking hilarious, starring Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston. It's a great movie. And Scotty P is one of the most memorable characters I've seen of all time. And if you haven't seen the movie, there's a scene where Scotty P meets We're the Millers, and he's explaining his credo, which is apparently his, perception on life. And it says, and his perception on life is no regrets, except he misspelled no regrets, and it's tattooed on it's tattooed on above his chest. So I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because when you file something with the court, you can't unfile it. You can file some kind of amendment or notice errata. That's like kind of pointing attention to your mistake at that point. So that's my favorite meme of all time. For some reason, I just really enjoy that movie. I highly recommend everybody go see We're the Millers.
No regrets to watch.
No regrets.
Regrets.
Is the way I like to say it. But I think maybe you're pronouncing it better.
I don't know if there's like a good pronunciation for a wrong word, really. I mean, is there? All right. Well, thank you, Dean. And everyone, please be sure to follow Attorney Problems. And thank you for watching Lawyer Interviews. It's been great to have you. Bye.
Thank you. Pleasure.